start the first session, demo session of this Selenium with Python, right? Introduction, right? So I'll keep this very simple. So as a part of this introduction, first we will understand what is software testing. What is software testing? Software testing. What is software testing? Most of you people already know this, but let me revise you some basic things with respect to this software testing. So software testing is a process, right? It is a process to identify defects. To identify defects. You will perform some activity, you will do some process to identify defects in a software. To identify some defects in a software and to make sure it is a defectless or a bugless product, right? It's a process or an activity to identify defects in a software to ensure quality, to ensure quality before releasing the product into the market, before releasing product into market. Why you need to do some activity to identify defects, to identify bugs before releasing into market? Right, nowadays you'll be having lot of products, lot of competition is available, lot of competition is available. So in this competition, if you don't provide a quality product, definitely you will be having lot of business loss, reputation loss, and that particular market is captured by your competitor. So it is always mandatory to identify defects in a software to make that software a bug-free product. So before releasing into market. So the software testing can be done in two ways. One is manual testing, right? And the other is automation testing. One is manual testing and the other is automation testing. So what is manual testing? What is manual testing? So if a testing carried out manually by a human, if a testing is carried out manually by a human without use of automation tools, without using automation tools, right? So without using automation tools, right? Using automation tools, it is called as an manual testing. If human tester, see, most of the people nowadays are manual test engineers. What they will do at the end of the day, once if there is any feature or user story developed, they will test that particular thing manually. So a human tester is required to do testing manually without using any automation tools. So if you test manually any product, it is called as an manual testing. So in the process of this manual testing, you will not use any automation tools, right? You will not use any automation tools. Generally, what type of manual testing we will do? So I'm also an test engineer, so we will do retesting as well as regression testing, right? So these are the two types of testings most of the times we'll perform. Yes, you have sanity, you have smoke, right? You have end-to-end testing, but majorly our focus is on retesting as well as regression testing. What is retesting? Testing the same functionality after defects have been fixed. During testing, you have identified an issue. What you will do, you will just report that issue to your lead. So based on that, if it is a valid issue or not, accordingly you will raise a ticket for your developer, right? You will assign it to your developer. So what developer will do? Developer will work on that. He will fix that particular issue. Again, he will assign it to you. It's your responsibility, since you raised that issue, to test that particular issue and to close that issue. So testing the same functionality after defects have been fixed, it is called as an retesting. It is called as an retesting. What about regression testing? You take simple example. So you have a Gmail application, right? You have a Gmail application. So inside Gmail, you'll be having a lot of modules: inbox module, sent items module, right? Similarly, you have some drafts, you have some spam. Like this, you are having some different types of modules available inside some application, some simple application, right? So there is an issue inside this sent items module. There is a bug or an issue inside this sent items module. What you will do, you will assign this to a respective developer. Yes, developer has fixed this issue. As a part of that, you will do some retesting. Good. At the time of doing retesting, you will also make sure, because of this issue, inbox module is not affected, drafts is not affected, spam is not affected. So because of new changes at the time of fixing this issue, it will not affect you negatively any existing functionalities or not. So is this bug fix, is this issue fix is making any functionalities affect, any existing functionalities become affected or not. So to make sure they are not affected, you also do regression testing, testing to ensure new changes do not negatively affect existing functionalities. It is called as an regression testing. So what is the main challenge during manual testing, that too during retesting and regression testing? So if you can see, there are two main challenges, right? What are those two challenges? You will take a lot of time, you need to spend a lot of effort. Also human mistakes are very common, right? Because we are humans, right? Human mistakes are very, very common. So these are the three main challenges, right? You need to spend a lot of time, that too you need to spend a lot of effort. Even after spending a lot of time and effort, there is a chance of making some mistakes, because humans always make some mistakes. So these are the main challenges when you do manual testing with a human tester. If a human tester tests that application manually, it is called as manual testing. So at the time of manual testing, we'll do retesting, we'll do regression testing. The main challenges are, they are time consuming, effort, you need to have some lot of effort. Also, after putting lot of time and effort, a human can make mistakes. So these are the challenges. So how you can overcome these challenges? With the help of automation testing. With the help of automation testing, we'll overcome these challenges. So what is an automation testing? Testing that uses testing that uses automation tools, right? So if you use any automation tools for testing, simply to execute test cases, right? You can also specify to execute test cases, right? Test or test scripts. So testing that uses automation tools to execute test, it is called as an automation testing. So generally, how this automation tool works, this automation tools requires a script. At the end of the day, you will write an automation script. So if you can see it here, let me open this PyCharm and just opening this PyCharm. So let me show you the script. Because in the recent versions of Selenium, you have a lot of changes. So accordingly, you need to understand that. So if you can see it here, so this is what the previous batch. Today morning only, I have completed this data-driven testing. So if you can see it here, an automation tools required a script written in any programming language. So in this particular course, we'll be learning Python, right? Any programming language, with any programming language, you will write an automation script. And you will execute this automation script with the help of appropriate IDE. Right now in this course, we are using this PyCharm IDE. Right? You need an automation script. With the help of an automation testing tool, you will execute these test cases. This automation tool, by using any programming language, will take an automation script. So once you execute that automation script, so the tests are executed on respect to AUT. AUT means application under test, right? So application under test. You should never forget this terminology. Going ahead, you will be having this lot of terminologies. So this is what the simple thing. Most of manual testers or automation test engineers might be knowing this. Any application on which you are executing this automation test scripts, or any application on which we are performing this manual testing, is treated as an AUT. AUT means application under test. At the time of executing this script with the help of any automation tool, we'll write that particular script with the help of a programming language, right? So what are the different types of programming languages? We will be having Java, Python, C Sharp, right? Ruby. So you also have JavaScript. So like this, you have this client library. So with the help of a client library, you will write an automation script for executing test cases. So programming is required to provide instructions to automation tool. There are a lot of automation tools available, but the king in the market is Selenium. This Selenium uses any of the programming language to take the instructions. To give instructions to automation tool, we think of Selenium, you need a programming language. So based on that script, tool will execute test cases on an application under test. So you can see it as some simple application at the very beginning. Let me show you that some simple test case. So this simple test case, I'm just opening this google.com. I'm just asking this Selenium tool to get the title of that particular page. So this is what the action. I'm just dictating, I'm just ordering this Selenium WebDriver to execute this automation script in some website and to get that particular title. So equating that title with expected as well as actual title. So I'm just printing some result. So whether the title test is passed or title test is failed. Let us execute this simple test script. I'm writing this automation test script with the help of a programming language. So I'm using this Python. So you will understand going ahead why you need to use this Selenium, why you need to use this particular format only. Don't worry for now. Just for your information, I'm executing this. Run simple test case. So you can see it here. It is opening this Google. So it is getting the title and just checking whether it is equal to Google or not. So this is what the expectation. This is what my expected title. This is what the actual title which you are capturing with the help of this method available inside Selenium WebDriver. So you are just checking, you are just validating whether they are equal or not. Suppose that you are just printing some simple message, title test passed or failed. So how you are executing with the help of an automation tool. So in this particular course, we will use this Selenium, right? So why we use Selenium? What is a Selenium first? So generally, Selenium is a popular open source. Open source means you can see the source code. So if you can see, Selenium is a package. When I click on this, you can see this is what the source code of that particular Selenium WebDriver. You can see this is what the source code in which they have implemented some browser specific options. Suppose if you go to some other specific options, this is what the source code. So it is open source. That means anybody can see the source code. So it's a popular open source. You don't need to pay any amount also, right? For automating web applications. Popular open source automation tool for automating web applications, which is a Selenium. Selenium stands top in the market. So if you can see the percentage of market share in testing industry with respect to UI, Selenium stands at the top. So it's a popular open source tool. So who invented this Selenium? Who developed this Selenium? So Jason Huggins, right? Jason Huggins is the person who developed this Selenium in 2004. So in the year 2004, Jason Huggins developed this particular popular tool Selenium at ThoughtWorks. So it's one of the place, or it can be a company where he has developed this Selenium. So in the year 2004, Jason Huggins. Don't worry, nobody will ask you who invented or who developed this Selenium, but for your information, you need to understand this. Popular open source tool. It has a lot of advantages. When compared to any other automation tool, nowadays you are having this Cypress, you are having this Playwright, Catalan Studio, Tosca, right? You are having a lot of things, but Selenium is having a lot of market share. So if you can see the features of Selenium, right? If you can see the features, it is open source. right? It is open source. Also, it is having lot of components, right? So you will be having like Selenium IDE, integrated development environment, integrated development environment. Suppose that you have WebDriver, Selenium WebDriver. Also, at last, you will be having this grid. So these are three different components available inside Selenium WebDriver. So if you go to official website, right? So search for Selenium. So you can see once you click on this Selenium, so you land onto this official page. You can see you are having three components. One is a Selenium WebDriver, Selenium IDE, Selenium Grid. From the second version onwards, Selenium RC is also one of the component. But that Selenium RC is also integrated with Selenium WebDriver. It's also integrated with Selenium WebDriver. So from there onwards, you'll be having only three components: Selenium WebDriver, Selenium IDE, and Selenium Grid. So only three components. So why we need Selenium IDE? So generally, creating it is used for creating some simple test cases. It's a browser extension. So if you can see, so search for Selenium IDE extension, some simple search. You can see it here, Selenium IDE. So with the help of the Selenium IDE, what you can do, you can take any application, you can just perform those actions manually, and those actions are in the background represented in the form of an automation script. But this is only for creating simple test cases. To create simple test cases, you will use this Selenium IDE. But to create complex test cases, to create complex test cases and to talk directly with the browser, at the end of the day, whether it is Chrome browser or Edge browser or Firefox browser, you will execute this automation script. Just now we have seen, we have executed this automation script on Firefox browser. Is it right? But going ahead, we'll execute this in three different types of browsers. At the end of the day, you need to execute this automation script in any of the browser. At the time of executing, you need to talk to the browser directly. To talk to the browser, you need a WebDriver. WebDriver directly talks to the browser. Also, it is used for creating complex test cases. Complex test cases. It can be data-driven testing. It can be regression testing as well. So there are n number of test cases types also where you can achieve with the help of this WebDriver. It is a breakthrough. It's very important component in the Selenium community. Inside Selenium Suite is nothing but a combination of tools. So WebDriver is a breakthrough because it uses programming language. It uses programming language to create complex test cases. Besides this, it will also directly talk to the browser. Right? So this is what a main advantage with respect to this Selenium WebDriver. See, coming to this Selenium Grid. So majorly it is used for cross-browser testing. Cross-browser testing. Also parallel testing. Parallel testing. So what is meant by cross-browser testing? Whatever an application developed, it needs to work on different types of platforms. When I'm saying platforms, it can also have this browser aspect as well. So coming to platform, it can be Mac platform, it can be Linux platform, it can be Windows platform. That means whatever the application which you developed in Linux, it should work without any issue in Windows. Similarly in Mac. For doing that, for just assessing that whether it is able to work, for certifying that particular product, so it will work in multiple platforms. You'll go for Grid, Selenium Grid. At last, we will see this. Once we understand this Selenium WebDriver, once we do project with the help of framework, at last we will see how you can use this Selenium Grid. Also, whatever the application which is working in Chrome browser, you should test that whether it is working perfectly or not in the Edge browser. Because at the end of the day, we are not sure. A customer can use any type of browser he want. So it's our responsibility to certify that product is not having any issue in any browser or in any platform. To make sure, we will use this Selenium grid. Also, for every application, you will not have one or two test cases. You will have some hundreds of test cases. Suppose if a test case takes 1 minute of time to execute, right? If I am having 100 test cases, I'm just specifying 100, right? 100 test cases. So how much time it will take? So 100 into 1. So it will take 100 minutes. So to certify this particular product after deployment, I need to wait for 100 minutes. No, I no need to wait for 100 minutes. I want the result as soon as possible. For that, what you will do, you will split these test cases into some number and you will execute these test cases parallelly. Suppose I have three worker nodes, right? On these three worker nodes, I will execute some 33 test cases per each, right? So 33 into 3, there are total 100 test cases approximately. So it will only take some 33 minutes of time. 33 minutes of time. So instead of taking 100 minutes of time, it will only take some 33 minutes of time. So at last, we will see how you can achieve this by using Selenium grid. So Selenium grid is used for cross-browser testing and parallel testing. So WebDriver is a powerful combination with programming language which will directly talk to the browser and for creating complex test cases. With the help of this WebDriver, we can create complex test cases. With the help of IDE, we can create simple test cases. And that too, we are talking about application under test, right? So when you talk about AUT, it is application under test. How many types of applications we are having in the market? So if you can see types of applications, So there are different types of applications. Most of you people, every day you have been using this. One is desktop applications, right? And the other is you have these web applications, right? Also, you have mobile applications. So these are three different types of applications available in the market, right? So when you talk about this desktop applications, what you will do, you will install software on your personal computer. Coming to these web applications, you will access the software with the help of a web browser, right? So nowadays you are accessing this Microsoft Excel. So how you are accessing? If you are having this Microsoft Office 365, you can access that service. So how you can access with the help of a browser? If you are having some devices, mobile devices like smartphones, tablets. So if a software is designed for smartphones and tablets, it is nothing but a mobile application. You can download it from Play Store, right, or iOS Store. So these are three different types of applications available in the market. Selenium WebDriver only uses these web applications. So when you write an automation script, this Selenium WebDriver execute this automation script on a web application. So to achieve testing of these mobile applications, what you need to do, you need to integrate Selenium with AppDynamics tool. If you want to achieve desktop application testing, you need to integrate Selenium with Robot API or some another library. So you need to integrate with another library as well. So these are three different types of applications available in the market. So desktop applications, web applications, and mobile applications. So Selenium uses these web applications to automate them. So to check the specific functionalities, right? What are the advantages? Yes, you are using this Selenium. At the end of the day, every tool is having some advantages as well as disadvantages. Advantages, right, of Selenium. Advantages of Selenium. What are the different types of advantages? So first advantage is it is open source, right? You can see the source code. Accordingly, you can modify as per your requirement, and free. That means no license is required. With free of cost, you can just install this Selenium WebDriver, and you can just work on that right away. So it is having some cross-platform support, right? So cross-platform, that means if you write an automation script in Windows, you can execute the same automation script in Java, I mean in Mac, in Linux operating system. The same script without any issue, you can run in multiple platforms if you develop in one platform. Also, it can support multiple browsers. So browser compatibility is also there, right? Browser compatibility is also there. Not only in one browser, you can execute your automation test scripts in multiple browsers. To write an automation script, you need to use programming language, right? So how many types of programming languages you can use to write an automation script? So you can use multiple programming languages, right? Multi-language support. So this is also one advantage of Selenium. So if you can see, if you can go to this official website of Selenium WebDriver, so just click on downloads. So just to scroll down, you can see these are different types of Selenium language bindings. When I am saying Selenium language bindings, with the help of this programming language, you can write an automation script. You can see .NET or C#, Ruby, Java, JavaScript, or Python. Multi-language support is available to write an automation script in Selenium for automating a web application. Right? Also, it is best useful for integrating with CI/CD tools. Integration is also there. Right? It can be integrated with Jenkins, Hudson, right? Bamboo, TeamCity, Azure pipelines for executing your automation test script. There can be no issue. Also, you can integrate this Selenium with third-party tools. If you want to enhance the functionality, this integration is also possible. Every tool, once developed, will be having some advantages as well as disadvantages. So when you talk about disadvantages, what are the disadvantages of Selenium, right? So there are a lot of disadvantages, but that are very, very less when compared to other tools. First thing is limited support, right? Limited support for window-based applications. You can also automate, but the thing is there is only limited support for window-based applications, right? So no native reporting, no native reporting. That means once you execute a test case, you need to get the report. By default, Selenium will not support this reporting. Selenium will not support this reporting. Also, Selenium is not having any provision to handle these Excel files directly. That means it cannot handle Excel files directly. Why we need these Excel files? To do data-driven testing, we need this Excel file. We'll specify the test data in an Excel file, and we will read this test data in an Excel file with the help of some another library, but which is not there directly inside this Selenium tool. So today morning only I have covered this certificates of deposit calculator, which is a data-driven testing for the morning batch, right? So if you can see, so these are disadvantages. Let me write it here. Disadvantages, right? Disadvantages of Selenium. Also, you cannot automate OTPs, captcha, barcodes, right? So these are not able to automate with the help of Selenium tool. So generally, if you are having these type of security mechanisms in your application, what we will do, we'll ask developers to just remove this in lower environments, whether it can be QA environment, whether it can be UAT environment. We'll ask developers to remove this. So then we can write an automation script and we can execute them directly, right? So if they want to introduce in lower environments also, instead of Selenium, you can just do some manual testing on these areas, right? So 100% automation is not at all possible. There are some corner scenarios where everybody needs to go and do some manual testing, but most of the time you can just utilize by using automation testing. So you can just leverage the advantage of automation testing. So this is what with respect to introduction to software testing. As a part of that, how you can do automation, what are the different types of applications, advantages of Selenium and disadvantages of Selenium. So right now in this class, we will use the latest version of Selenium, which is 4.26.1. This is what the version which we will install going ahead. So during starting of the Selenium sessions, if there is any updated version, we will use that updated version only. So just with the help of some command, we'll install this updated Selenium WebDriver. Also, what are the topics which you can expect in this course? So if you can see topics, right? One is Python, Selenium, right? You can learn about PyTest framework, very important framework, as like TestNG in Java. So in Python, we have this PyTest framework. We'll implement this project. So once project is implemented, we will learn this CI, continuous integration. So how you can do this with the help of Git, right? GitHub, also with the help of Jenkins. So at last, we'll see these Jenkins, Git and GitHub. So, but these are the main areas where you need to understand Python, Selenium, PyTest framework, project, and continuous integration. And that too, you'll be getting some resume preparation stuff. Also, you'll be having some interview questions. You'll be having some mock-up sessions, right? So, resume preparation. So, interview questions, right? You'll be having some mock-ups. So these are different types of things which you can expect. What you will get? Yes, you are attending this class every day. What you will get? Class notes, right? So that can be mostly PPT or PDF, right? Also, you'll get recorded videos, and you can expect some examples or demos which we are performing in the class. In the live class, you are executing some scripts. So I'll be giving you that particular scripts. Those examples or those demos as well. Recorded videos, examples or demos, class notes as well. So this is what with respect to this particular course you can expect. And that too, the timing is every day 1 hour. I won't take much time of yours because everybody is a working professional. I will try to reduce that 1 hour also because I will just inject you the concept as simple as I can. I will not make very complex things. I will make you understand with simple things so that the time can be utilized for your learning. Right? So every day you need to practice some 1 to 2 hours of practice, rigorous practice is required. Along with the practice, you need to revise the previous concepts as well. So the timings are every day 9 to 10. It's PM IST, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST. So accordingly, it will be in respect to time zones from Monday to Saturday. Not Saturday, Monday to Friday. So only on weekdays we'll be able to take the sessions. If there is anything like holidays, if we get, we'll be giving you the holidays. If I feel something needs to be covered, I will also take some weekend classes as well. So this is what with respect to the course which you can expect. So the bridge is open for doubts now.